I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is all the mods 10 to the sky. Now, I just can't quite point my finger on it. There's a smell of sulfur lingering from within my base, and over here in my all the mods 10 to the sky world, I'm not quite sure where it's coming from. I mean, it's not the cables. I don't think it's the portal. I mean, is it the bed? The subscribe button? I don't even think it's this guy. I mean, even though it could very well be coming from here. I also don't think it's coming from the wither fart machine. Yeah, also would probably come from there. Nor do I think it is a part of all of our essence farming that we've been doing, well, or mechanism. I don't even think it's a part of Autocrafting or just dire things that we've worked on, recently. Could it possibly be the bees? Nah. Ooh, I think I found it. The smell is really, really strong up here. Just gotta take a quick peek into the walls here. Aha, I have found it. Yes. Because today, we're going to be getting started with Draconic Evolution, baby. And so, yes, the smell of sulfur has really started to get strong, and that's primarily because I've slowly started to bring the end, well, into my actual base. And down here, or should I say up here, this is definitely up here, I've started working on a little bit of a project. I want to bring the end into this world. So I've used some of our coal geor blocks to line all the walls for now to give it that sparkly effect. And right here, I kind of want to open this up to make it not feel so cramped. We are going to set a portal to be able to get into here, but this is where we're going to do our Draconic infusion crafting. It's actually going to be really nice for this. Now, I will say these windows, something's a bit off about them. Like they're missing something, and I think I know exactly what they're missing. Yes, access to the outside world. And yes, I can utilize a block such as Skyweave, this block right here from ours requiring manipulation essence, to be able to build giant windows that pass immediately through the wall. It's so good. And at nighttime, oh, this is going to look amazing. And it also kind of helps with that whole feeling claustrophobic inside of a box sort of thing. That is one thing that these are really good at. Oh, and they also let light in as if they were like literally the outside. Now for Draconic Evolution, we have this infusion crafter that we have to kind of worry about. And it's going to be one of the larger things that we have to deal with. Well, outside of the giant ball that holds power, but I have an idea for that too. I really want to get into that primarily for that giant power ball. I mean, it's a staple of modded Minecraft, and I absolutely love the thing. So what I am going to be setting up here is a spot for the infusion crafter. And we are going to use Applied Energistics, and we should be able to automate all of that fun stuff. But the goal today is to get into Draconic Evolution. There's actually a lot to it and a lot of utility things that this mod offers. For example, one of my favorites is the ability to control the time of day indefinitely. It is so good. Now, I know we can control the time of day and weather cycle with ours, but it is really, really easy to do with Draconic Evolution. And honestly, a menace for servers like the Celestial Manipulator, which is the block that does this. I mean, definitely a menace on servers. But right here, I'm working on getting a platform set up. This is going to be what extends out, and this is where our crafter is going to go here in this pretty interesting shaped room. And I think for the platform here, utilizing some very classic factory blocks, oh, it's going to be good. Specifically the vents. This might turn out to be a really, really nice floor block. It's kind of a randomized pattern almost, like it's very kind of random. Maybe also including some other factory blocks into the mix. Could look really nice. I, of course, can't forget a way to teleport into this room, and here we are. Now, to add a little bit of flair to the outer edge of this. Look at that. By the way, these vertical half stairs. Oh, that is fantastic. Now, I think this is enough decorating, at least for right now. I do want to incorporate some more purple and some other fun stuff into this, but let's get some infrastructure up. So, Draconic Evolution. The main thing we need is draconium dust. Thankfully, we do get that from sieving, so we have quite a bit of it. And we could have technically more of it if I simply sped up our production of Instone, which I think is probably going to be necessary. You know what? For InStone, we could go about it a very interesting way. Like, I'm thinking maybe we use create in a dragon head. And this is like really, really simple to do, right? We just need water. It's going to go in here. I probably will raise this up like one more block so we don't end up with like any weirdness happening. But what if we like blow items up and drop items in? Like we can drop an item to be converted into InStone, right? And we can use this. We can take cobblestone, which we can send indefinitely, and it's just going to convert that cobblestone directly into InStone. This could work. I just need to get the create wheel spinning here, and we could use water flowing like this. That's going to blow items up. How high do items go when they are like this? I mean, they don't really go up, it looks like. I mean, you'd have to have a little bit more RPM than this. But you know what? This should be completely fine because we can use something like a dragon head, I think. Unless we have to have the fan pointed in a different direction. I would think this would work. But maybe the fan does have to be pointed sideways. I mean, we'd have to throw an item down here to be able to find out. Yes, bulk ending does not look like it works unless it's coming out of the dragon's mouth. Let's test it. I'm going to throw in a gearbox down here. And then on this one, I'm also going to switch the water direction because that does change everything. And then fan. Let's see. Nope, the water has got to change direction here. Maybe I had the water originally set up right. What about this? Which way are you spinning? And you are also backward. Why did I even change the water? The goofy things. Okay. So now it's spinning right. And then if I put the dragon head on there we go. So now we're getting that end sort of thing. Okay, interesting. And then what about a lever? Like, can we pass a redstone signal through here? We can. Oh, that's hilarious. Now, yes, this is create, but is it required? Like, not really. We could do this probably without create, but this is a really awesome mechanic, and it's actually from an add-on mod for create, believe it or not. So, let's throw this together. Put that on there. Ow. Apparently, you do take damage. And then make sure they're the same height. Pretend you didn't see that. Now, I think I can get away with just having, like, storage drawers that just basically collect the blocks as they are right here. And we can use AE to drop the items into the world. And hopefully not too quickly. We may actually want to use create for that. I also should probably make the infinity cobble cell because we don't have that just yet. So, you know what? An infinity cobble cell would just mean I could instantly craft any of the cobblestone things, wouldn't it? How quickly is it going to craft one of these processors? Almost instantly, you say? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's almost instantaneous. If it wasn't for these printed circuits, these final little pieces, this would be basically instant. And so, well, I don't want to craft that. I just want the actual cell. There we go. We have an infinity cobblestone cell. That was pretty quick. And I'll just toss this into my infinity drive of doom. Now to set this all up. So we want this collecting from the north side. So that's actually perfect. And I'm using the collector upgrades to collect in-world items. And then we want to lock the filters basically by putting the item in. Then the only thing it can collect is this singular item. And we definitely want to lock it. Oh, this is going to be InStone. By the way, keep in mind, this is to be able to produce more of the Draconic evolution material because we have to have InStone in large quantities to be able to upgrade our sieving setup. But here we go. So now that we have this in place, we can use something like an active formation plane from extended AE. Drop that down here. And drag some cobble. Now that we have an unlimited cobble cell, just drop that down there. Same on this side. And then also make sure this is set to will drop as items. Drop as items is definitely necessary. Otherwise, it's going to place the block. And we don't want the block placed. We want the items dropped. And so we turn our magnet off. Make sure we drag cobblestone into here. And before I know it, this stuff is going to be converted into InStone and immediately collected into this container. And it does ramp up. It has a ramp up speed, so we got to give it just a moment. Now, if this is not fast enough, we may have to come up with another solution to this, but I mean, as you can see, it does start to go pretty quick. You know what? This does have some upgrade slots. I mean, it does do capacity, crafting cards, fuzzy cards. I mean, I guess this is as fast as it's going to go. All right. Well, I don't think this is going to be fast enough. So I do have another solution that I think could work. let's do an interface on here, and we'll tell the interface to keep cobblestone in stock. So cobble, keep in stock, and we can set it to like 16 at a time. I think this actually helps create. It's really efficient doing like 16 at a time, but it's probably not going to matter. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to keep it consistent, 16, and then I'm going to use something like a world transporter here. And I'm going to have this just send into the world. And it should be carrying, I think, the 16 items at a time into the world. Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't have to worry about buildup or anything because it is going to convert at the end of the day. It's just like how much before it does do the conversion. That's the thing. But that does seem to be going a whole lot faster. Oh, yeah. That's where it's at. And you know what? Just like our other ones, we could probably put a speed upgrade in here, and that's going to send it out a lot quicker than we've been doing. Oh, this could get kind of messy. I mean, just make sure that you have either a void upgrade or this thing is really, really capped out. Otherwise, this is just going to just spew items everywhere. Now that I have a bit of instone, I'll just simply add this to our global list. And now it's an AE. So let's go ahead and upgrade this bad boy. And this one right here is the one that needs it. So I do need to get like, I don't know, an AE cable that runs through here. And we could just use an exporter. I think at this point we have so many resources. So yeah, we'll just export it directly to the hammer to be crushed, and then we'll get the upgrades in it. Just need to upgrade our upgrades. We need 6 of them. There's 3, and then the other upgrades. We have so many things called upgrades, by the way. Oh my goodness, it's easy to kind of get lost here. They were diamond. There we go. So those are in, and then those are in. Perfect. So now we should be generating significantly more draconium dust, and boy, are we going to need quite a bit, especially later on. Now we get to jump into Draconic Evolution and actually get started here. So first thing we need is a fusion crafting core. We're going to need quite a few draconium cores and wyvern cores. These require nether stars, so yeah, you're going to have to make sure you have some nether stars in stock to be able to get this up and running. But the first thing we need to do is actually build this injector, this crafting mechanic that Draconic has. So we are going to need quite a few of these, and I recommend kind of placing this down and also placing it in the air, by the way. So placing it somewhere where you would call it center. I'm going to call this center, and then this is actually where I'm going to place my fusion core. So place it up a block. And then what we can do is we have a little bit of room to work from. So around this crafting core up to so many blocks, actually don't remember, it may be like 32 blocks or something like that, you have a range. Your injectors can essentially be within this sort of block space facing your crafting core. So you can have them over here, you can have them on this side, you can have them on the other side, but they basically can be wrapped around. And I think you can even have them on the top and bottom. But I don't recommend that because there's some things that we need to do to this thing to technically automate it. Now, one of the first things I like to get up and running right away is the wyvern fusion crafters. So we need to go from these draconium basic ones to at least wyvern right off the start. It's going to cost a little bit of power to do this. You can see for each of these crafts, and it's going to cost these cores. But notice how many we have here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? There's 8 of these, and each one of these slots is related to the actual injector that you are going to need to complete this craft. And then we also need another injector right here. So to just complete the basics of this and to be able to make these, we're going to need at least 8 of them to kind of get started here. So injectors, let's go ahead and craft these, or just, I guess, fusion is probably the best way. And we'll make 8 for right now. This is going to definitely change because we are going to have way more of these in the future. But you know what? For right now, I can place them like this, and we can make this kind of weird, right? We can just do something like that. Now, while looking at these, you see the thing on the right-hand side of the screen. It says stack mode. You can actually change this by shift right-clicking, and you can change it from stack to single item mode. As of right now, we're going to leave it in stack mode, but that is something that you can keep in mind, especially when it comes to auto-crafting down the road. Now, another thing I want to get auto-crafted is the wyvern energy controllers. There's a whole bunch of stuff, like micro-crafting kind of, that we need to be able to make a lot of things. If we want to power these, we can actually do it kind of wirelessly by using these energy crystals. That is something that we have the ability to do. It is a pretty interesting sort of thing, but I still think that just using points on the back of these things is just much simpler. At least until you can get the higher tier crystals, because that's when things get a lot better, right? It is kind of like wireless power with those crystals. But yeah, getting the draconic ones, or at least the wyvern ones, are the way to go. So now I've collected all of the items required for this, and I just want to go ahead and throw these in here. We are going to be doing some moving of them very soon, but I'd like to split the stacks, and we are going to need the exact amount of items that we've seen before. And I'm doing 13 because I think one of the biggest crafts is like requires 12 of these infusion crafters, but I want to do 13, and I'll explain that here in a minute. It does make it a little easier later on to like upgrade to the next tier if we have an extra one. But let's go ahead and get this upgraded. I think we have just about everything ready to go. We just need the injectors, and we're going to do 12 of them. I keep doing injectors. There we go. So I'll get 13 of these crafted up. They should happen pretty quick. We just have to wait for draconium ingots. But when I put this in here, I can click a button, and then it's going to do a craft. It's going to do some fancy particles, all that fun stuff, make a lot of popping noises because it's lightning flashing everywhere. It's taking all the power out of here, not a whole lot, 13, that's kind of a really small amount. But yes, it's going to pull all of these, and there's not much I can do to really accelerate it, except I can accelerate this part. So if you did want to make it a little bit faster, you can accelerate the crafting part itself, but you can't actually accelerate really the amount of power that you're sending to these. So there it went. We actually crafted this thing, and now we have an injector, but I kind of want to make this easier on myself. So we can use just regular hoppers or pipes. And I'm going to put this on the bottom and on the top, and the hopper is going to automatically pull out the core that is in there. And then if we put this on top, it's going to automatically send it in, but it's not going to automatically craft. So this is where we have to give this a redstone signal. And so we can use a lot of different things. Just a regular clock is a pretty good one. And I think the one from Create is pretty good. I guess I should call it a timer because that's exactly what it is. It's a timer more than it is anything. But this is a pretty simple one. However, you can't just place it directly on the side of the block. You do have to place it on a block. So I'm going to have to raise it up. And then we should be able to pulse this. And by the way, it is crafting. It doesn't look like it is, but now it's just going to keep crafting nonstop so long as we have the ingredients to do the craft. You know what? That's exactly what we need to at least get to wyvern tier. And so voila, we now have some infusion injectors that we can actually replace these with. And this is where we can start to design this a little bit nicer and make it look a little bit better. As of right now, I have the injectors right here, which is just fine, by the way. But let's take these and sort of line them up. And I like to do this sort of pattern usually, but what I might do is actually leave this face like open and just have it on the sides here. Because we can go, I think, all the way out here, and this will still work like super spread out. So all the way out here, this is still in line, I think. I mean, this isn't in line, is it? You know what? I actually might move this whole setup forward just so I can have them right here. So now that I have this all set up, like, what do we do next? Like, what do we do with these crafting injectors? Like, is there anything we can do with them? Well, we're going to need to level them up once again. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but that is kind of the ultimate goal, is to get this leveled up to the chaotic tier and get to Draconic so we can actually have the gear to fight a mega boss, which is definitely a boss worth fighting. It is a really, really cool boss battle. And it's very challenging. And that's why a lot of people kind of don't like it, is because it's really hard. And you will most likely die. But I have some tricks up my sleeves that could possibly help us survive it. But to be able to actually make infinite awakened draconium, which is our next step, to be able to make a block of draconium, this stuff right here, we need a dragon heart for. And we get 4 blocks of it, which is perfectly fine. But to be able to make the actual seed, we're going to need 4 draconium. And we're also going to need 3 draconium blocks right here and another dragon heart. So it's going to cost this just to make it. So we need at least 2 dragon hearts, which means, well, I've got to go back to the end and I've got to kill a dragon real quick. To make this faster, I can go ahead and craft myself up a pretty nasty sword here. So we'll make ourselves an unobtainium sword. This does 51 base damage. I mean, this is going to shred the dragon. Just in case you forgot how to respawn the dragon, which, I mean, honestly, you should know at this point. there you go. And you know what? I don't know why I made this sword because, yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah, we have ours. And this, now with all of our upgrades, we completely destroy the dragon. The dragon is down, and we should be able to get ourselves a heart. Another heart. I think we only need 2 though, so we should be fine after that. And beautiful. There's that heart. So let's now take this, throw in a heart, and then throw in, there we go, the draconium block. And let this craft up a little bit, and we will get ourselves the awaken. And this, I think, is all we really need. Just the 4 blocks should be enough. We'll have 9 of the ingots, and then the other 3 blocks that we get, we are going to use to craft this. I do need insanium essence, but I'm pretty sure I have that. How much essence do I have stored up? I'm pretty sure it is a ridiculous amount, isn't it? It's in blocks too. Yeah, it's quite a lot there. But look at there. We have the awakened draconium. Oh, it is so nice to have this. Okay. And this just puts us so much closer to all of our other stuff. So insanium essence, I already have like 55 of them built up. That's perfect. I need to break this down, and we only need 4 ingots there. And then the rest is just making the crux, which we are going to need a single crux to be able to make the thing that I want to make, but we can upgrade this here in a second. Last episode, I ended up setting up an insanely fast essence farm, and that should also be able to work here. I got to show you how it actually works though. But now that we have this, let's get it seed. Oh boy. And surprisingly, we have this mystical agriculture seed. I know we don't have draconium seeds, but we do have this seed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Split those, put the seed in the middle, and let that bad boy rip. There's an awakened draconium seed. This is a tier 6 seed, so it does, like I said, require a crux. And this is the crux. Now, not everything I think requires a crux. I could be wrong there. Actually, does the crux get used in the... Oh, it does get used even in the botany pots. But I mean, I'm not worried about botany pots, right? We've got a really fast way of generating this stuff. Let's pop over here and just take a look. This is how I farmed it last episode in the hydroponic bed, and we can continue that. Oh yes, we can simply add another one of these and yeah, get this thing a farming. I mean, just look at the amount of essence that's in there. 1,000k items. Yes, we have one. It's a 1 million, but that was just funny seeing that number there. So let me just grab this guy real quick, and I'm actually going to break this setup down because we don't really need it anymore. We have basically everything we need as far as soul lava goes, and I can always use something else to automate it down the road. And there we go. So I got this set up. It's looking pretty good. And now I'm thinking I'm going to do 2 different ones that might potentially require a crux. I don't know what I'm going to put here. So for right now, I'm just going to end up with 1 of the awakened draconium, but if I put the awakened draconium seed on here, it doesn't grow. To get it to grow, I believe, yes, it has to go underneath the dirt block, because technically this hydroponic bed is actually a dirt block, in case you didn't know. But look at that. It's already growing and already sending these out. That's exactly what we want to see. And I'm going to go ahead and throw that in here. And then whatever our other one will be, we can always add it later. But there we go. So there we go. This is ramping up. I'm going to let that run a little bit longer for this, so that way we can put it in here and we'll have double the amount being generated. But for now, we can actually head back, and I think we can upgrade this even further now that I have the ability to upgrade it further. Now for this, let's see. We need 4 sets of diamonds, some wyvern cores, and yeah, this is where we're actually going to be picking these up and exchanging them as we go. That's why I made 13 of them. Now I've got all of them laid out. I think this is just about everything we need. And same as last time, we can literally drop this in and it starts crafting. And this is where I'm going to go ahead and take these, and we can take all of these extra ones that we have, throw them in there and let them all get upgraded. But you do want to make sure you get all of these upgraded. It's going to take a little bit of time because it takes a little bit of power, right? A little bit of crafting time each time this happens. But yeah, I mean, I can sit here and watch my 131,000. Oh my goodness, this works really, really well, doesn't it? But anyways, yes, I can watch this kind of craft. I can work on some other things while I get this all done. And whenever we do get a new one, thankfully, you can actually just take it and place it down. and it will work still with these lower tier crafts. So you can take the item from here and just move it over to here if you want to upgrade this one. And we're just going to end up swapping the items from one location to another. And beautiful. There's all at least the basic ones that's needed, but I will go ahead and upgrade this next one just to make sure we have a backup. It's always good to have one, but I think this is about all we're going to need. Honestly, we could easily craft the lower tiers with these higher tiers, so I don't really have to worry about that too much. So now that all the fluff is out of the way, honestly, let's talk about how we can auto craft in this machine. How can we build a pattern with applied energistics that allows us to craft with this? Well, thanks to, of course, modular routers, we will have the ability to do that. And I want to explain this the best I can. What we're going to do is use a pattern provider, and the pattern provider is going to send a pattern into the barrel. But we are going to limit that. We want to make sure that this is on locking mode, so it only sends one set of items. Thankfully, the way a pattern provider works is it'll basically send the first item in the list. So if we build a recipe that is like this, right, it is going to send the stack upgrade first, then the camouflage upgrade, then the activator module in this barrel, and it will go as such in this slot, and this slot. Well, the modular router also pulls in that order. It will pull from this slot, and then this slot next. And it only has one buffer slot. So what we need to do is we need to say, hey, with a puller module to this particular modular router, we're going to say pull in to this buffer slot. And then this is where the magic happens. We're going to use distributor modules to distribute to these individual injectors. Now, it being in or out of stack mode should not matter in this particular case. But we can, you know, we probably should set it to single item mode, actually. I think that could help. I don't think it's 100% necessary, though. But it will, actually, you know what? It is 100% necessary the more I think about it. So let's set all of these to individual mode. And I'm going to explain why this is going to be important. So whenever this is going to look for a place to fill an item, the distribution module here is going to need to place these in. You can do round robin. It really doesn't matter, but we're going to fill these all out. And we actually need it to only send one item to these at a time, because that's how all of these things work. So we'll leave it to its default settings, and we'll select up to 8 off of this one. So this is all we have. We have 6, 7, 8, and then we'll have the leftover 4 on the other card. This card is set up exactly the same way. Should be just basic default settings round robin, and then we'll place this in like so. So now when it pulls the items in, it's going to send them out, and that's all this modular router is going to do. And the way we build our pattern is going to be kind of important. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. Now, we have to worry about the last item in the list. That one is also pretty darn important. There's a couple of ways we can handle this. We can either have the item that goes in the top of the core here be the first thing that is in the list. And then if so, we can just build a filter for this. This is probably going to be one of the best ways to do that, I think. And so the way we need to do this is we need to handle our modules as so. This goes first, then this tries, then this tries, then this tries, also in a modular router. So with that knowledge, I'm able to say, okay, well, we need a cinder module, and this cinder is going to be filtered. This one is going to be whitelisted, and we want to make sure that anytime we add a new craft that is going to be auto-craftable, we open this up. I know that's not as convenient, but we open this up, and we make sure that this sends that product to the top of this. And this is where we can actually get rid of some stuff. We want to make sure it sends to the top of that thing, and we can put that in here. So as soon as we get our crafts up and running, I'll explain how this works a little bit more, but that's pretty much the basics. Now we have to figure out how to get the item out and back into the same pattern provider. And that's where this other modular router is going to come into play. So let's get another cinder module, because I just used the one that I was going to use for this. But we need a puller module that is wireless. So I think we need an MK2 puller, right? To be able to do wireless. So I'm going to grab this and let's shrink ourselves down so we're nice and small so I can get up underneath here. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and link to the bottom here. This is going to pull, not the send. This is going to pull with the puller module. And that is going to pull only the thing that has finished crafting into here. And then this cinder module is just simply going to send back into the same pattern provider. And that is all we should have to do to get the auto crafting done. Very, very simple here. And then we have this floating block, of course, with some sort of redstone. And we can make this really simple if we just use, I think, utilitarian with the clock or the timer. That's just the regular timer block should work. Aha, redstone clock. Honestly, redstone clock, very, very simple. It's just going to go right on the bottom. And that is basically it. So now let's build our pattern. Now, honestly, I think one of the best things we need to automate, and I think have to automate, is the Draconic core. This is a very, very important thing moving forward, and we're going to need a few of these. So might as well automate it. So whenever I click this button, it formats it just like this, with this being the output. And that's completely fine, but we are, I believe, missing the nether star. No, it actually formatted it perfect. It already placed this as the first thing in the list, and then it added these other things, and then this is the product that it is going to want out. We just got to make sure that the thing that goes in the top here is the first thing in the list. So let's add that. And then we add nether stars to this list down here. So let's pop into here. And remember, in that cinder card, we want to put nether stars. It's going to be whitelisted. And the goal now is to place this pattern in this pattern provider and see if we can't request these items. So we go to Draconic and we now try to make one of these. Now, first things first, before I do this, I do want to put this in locking mode. So lock crafting, because we don't want to send too many items. That'll actually break the whole setup. We have to wait. So let's try this. If I request, it sent those items. The star is now in here. These items are flowing in like they're supposed to. And then this is ticking the redstone, and looky there, it has now auto crafted. How cool is that, right? Modular routers, yet again, super powerful for things like this, and is going to make your life so much easier. The thing is, you just simply need to make one of these things. Also, with this cinder, if you need to add more things than this cinder allows, there is actually an upgrade card for modular routers that has its own filter list. Or if you really wanted to, just move these over and add another cinder. That's as easy as it gets. And looky there, Draconic core crafting met, and we can just simply keep requesting these over and over again. I can say, I want 10 of them, and it is going to do one at a time. Now, if you want the items to go in there a little bit quicker, we are going to need a few other things. Now, something I also wanted to check, did this all go into place? Yep, it looks like everything went correctly. Yeah, we just need some acceleration upgrades. That's all we're going to need from modular routers. I mean, this is beautiful. Oh my goodness. And has honestly made this auto-crafting setup so easy. Now, there's also a little trick that you may not know. If you were trying to craft something like this and you had all the ingredients in your inventory, you can actually open this up, click in from JEI, and it should allow you to auto-fill the recipe. As wild as that sounds. I think this is the best way to demonstrate that. For example, I have this, I just hit the plus button to move it in, and there it goes. It automatically filled all of these. I still don't think the pattern provider automatically injects the recipe directly into the thing, but I mean, I find this to be a much cleaner solution anyways. Looks so nice. So now that the fun part is out of the way, we essentially have auto crafting. That is really, really nice, but I want to actually set up the celestial manipulator. I don't think I need anything crazy fancy for this. We just simply need these small items here. Nice. This is probably one of the easiest things that you can make. Could have probably made this a long time ago. But I want this to be in a range. It is very, very loud. That is the only downside with this thing. We're going to need to give it a little bit of power. So something like this is going to be fine. It holds a lot of power, by the way. And then we need to go over here to the configure redstone. So Control O, configure this redstone. We don't even need anything crazy. We simply just want it to activate. We want it to make sure the skies are clear and that it is going to set the very specific time of day, right? So for redstone, like this right here, we want it to be sunrise, redstone, and then time of day, we want to make sure set to sunrise. And this just skips automatically to that time. Now, I believe just to fully automate this, I mean, we want to use like a detector here. And then the thing we want it to do, right, is we want it to go to sunrise. So this is the thing that we want it to actively do when it receives a redstone signal. So go to sunrise, and this should emit a redstone signal when it gets close to being dark. Don't know though if it actually has to detect the daylight. It's blocked. I think it does. So yeah, so something like out here, I can just put like the detector, daylight detector, and then hold shift to invert that. That should send a signal. And then let's get the gate back on this, right? To make sure it has power. That should be sending a power of 11. That should be plenty. And we set it to sunrise. Is that going to immediately work? I don't think so. I wonder if it just needs to receive a pulse. Like, there we go. So that actually works. So it doesn't work directly from the top, but it did work from the side. And so there we go. This is so trippy watching it do this. But the cool thing is we'll actually see that happen when we're inside of this room. Oh, it's so cool seeing that happen from in here. So now there is one other tool that I really want to make, and that's the advanced dislocator. Now this is made in the Wyvern tier, which is very easy for us to actually get our hands on. We do need to have a crafting recipe for the dislocator, so I can just toss that in. And I just love that we can just create this almost immediately, place it in, like craft a dislocator just so we have one, and then add it to this list, and then just craft this thing. Like, come on, like look how nice this is. We start this, it places the items in, and then bam, we can just instantly craft it. That's so good. But anyways, this fun little thing uses ender pearls. And so we have a bunch of ender pearls here that we can feed this. And I think we, let's see, we have to click, use teleport mode, add new. That's the current position. Fuel. And I thought there was a button that allows it to eat the fuel. Sneak right click to open GUI. That's of course how we do this. Teleport mode, add new. Where's the fuel button? Oh, here we go. All. So yes, we need to feed it all of the ender pearls that we had in our inventory. And this is just a really cool thing that allows you to set destinations. And I mean, I'm talking, we want to like teleport down into the Draconic area. We just line ourselves up with wherever we want this to be and where we want to look. And we add new. And then we can go in here and just change the name of this to like Draconic or Draco area. And I automatically know that this is the location. And now when I open this up, I can shift right click to select it to set the location. And then I can just right click to teleport it. And this is really important. I feel like this tool right here is one of the most powerful ways to protect yourself against the dragon. Yes, I mean, it's added into here for a reason. It is a very, very nice way to move around and is going to help me defend myself from the Chaos Guardian when we go to actually fight that bad boy. But now there's still a ton of things that we are going to want to do. Of course, this right here is just barely touching the surface of Draconic Evolution. And I just really wanted to show off how you can set up the infusion crafting, auto crafting with Applied Energistics, how it is very, very possible. Hopefully you liked today's episode, and of course, if you did, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and well, give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. Also, be sure to let me know down in the comments what you think of this room. Do you like it? Does it give you some inspiration? I hope so. I like it. So anyways, without further ado, it is now time to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that huge thanks is going to go out to the Dark Sauron, or actually Strange the Dark Sauron. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and just supporting my content in one of the best ways possible. Thank you so very much, you absolute boss. And guys, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching.